It's Spacevidcast Live 4.07 for Friday, March 25th, 2011. I cheated right there.
I saw that.
I'm not sure if I was like,
I did
what
see that.
date is it?
I don't know what it is.
My name is... We are nobody.
Yeah.
We have no names. We do not belong.
You know what? Don't tell them.
You know what?
Let them guess.
Yeah, you have no idea who we are. Scooch that way. We didn't... There you go. And that's why we're an internet show as opposed to a... All right, let's get started tonight. A STS-134 is right around the corner. That's with Space Shuttle Endeavour. It is the last... Well, it's spelled funny. What do you want?
It is spelled funny.
It's the oh, now they know who we are. It's the last scheduled flight for Space Shuttle Endeavour, and it's probably going to be the one with the largest media frenzy. In fact, I would be willing to bet STS-134 will have a larger media frenzy than STS-135, which is currently the last scheduled flight of the Space Shuttle program ever.
The lasty last.
The super last. And why is that?
Because it has a Z in its name?
No. Why is STS-134 going to be the media frenzy?
Because of Mark Kelly and Gabrielle Giffords.
So, Gabrielle was shot.
Shot in the head.
Basically.
Yep.
Yep. And so there's been a huge media frenzy.
Yes.
And the Kelly brothers, and actually we've got shots of the Kelly brothers. So Mark Kelly, here's a shot of Mark Kelly.
Mark Kelly, who's married to Gabrielle Giffords.
Yep. So here's Mark Kelly. And Mark is the one that's going up on...
He's going up on 134.
On 134, and it was his wife that was shot.
Yes.
But his brother, Scott Kelly,
His twin brother,
we've got
Scott
a picture
Kelly.
of Scott, I think, as well. So here's a shot of Scott Kelly. Yep. So there's Scott Kelly. So his brother
just came down, actually,
from the International Space Station. And usually at this point, both of them would be taking media inquiries.
Yes.
And
you can't do it, can you?
Go back to the graphics. Do it one more time. Just one more time.
Mark Kelly.
Give me Mark again. Just do it. Yep. And now,
Scott Kelly.
Now give me Scott again.
And back to Mark.
Now go back to Mark. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
In case you missed it. It's amazing. They look so much alike.
Yeah, it's almost like
it's just that mustache.
It's almost like someone photoshopped it.
It's almost. God, it's impressive.
So, joking aside though, they've decided not to take media inquiries because the media, they're being the media, I guess, and they're really only talking about Mark's wife.
Which I can understand is very frustrating. You know, Scott just comes down from the International Space Station. He's been up there for a while. He's been doing stuff. It's not like he's just been like hanging out on vacay or whatever and comes home. And now the only thing that media want to talk to him about is his sister-in-law, which I guess to a certain extent is got to be a change of pace between how do you go to the bathroom in space, you know, every other question. But at the same time, you know, that became very frustrated. There's more to who he is and what he does than the tragedy that has befallen his family.
Yep.
So he said, you know what, that's it. I'm done. I'm not taking any more questions. And then Mark pulled out of, you know, because normally the crew get together and there's a huge press, you know, press have one-on-one. Well, they've got the general questions and then they've got the one-on-one stuff to ask the crew member stuff. And it got to the point, it got so bad that he was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And he completely pulled out like a day or two ahead of time.
Here's why we bring this up is we were kind of debating about this in the car ride over to the studio.
Yeah.
And you said, you know, good for them, right, for not letting the media bully them into doing this stuff.
Right.
And I was kind of wishy-washy on it. I was like, kind of. I mean, you need to understand that is the media's job, right? I mean,
right.
And the thing is, this is the human story in space right now, and this is what kind of brings people into it. So I appreciate the fact that this is a private matter for them, and they, you know, they didn't sign up to have their entire lives opened up to the world. But at the same time, it is something that the public is kind of interested in right now, and it is kind of almost a back door into space, as it were.
It is. You know, the debate could go in so many different directions, you know, because I'm sure some people are thinking, well, finally the media is asking a different question other than how do you poop in space, which is great, but at the same time, you can kind of look at it as in there's still sort of some rabid dogs out there, and they're just going for the most sensational thing that they can possibly get their hands on.
Yeah,
and the most quote-unquote interesting or most sensational part of it is that his sister-in-law was shot while he was in space, but it has nothing to do with what he was doing in space, people.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true, right? And the media, you know, they can be well, the media, right? I mean,
Right.
they can be just kind of downright dirty. And, you know, the chat room's kind of basically siding with you. Most of them are, I agree with Kelly's, you know, you shouldn't have to use the back door. You should go in through the front door. And I kind of disagree with that statement. Use any door you can find.
Right. I mean, that's.
Yep. I think, though, but there are interesting questions that I would like to know, like, okay, so you found out about this. Then what happened when you were on this, you know, you're on the space station, your sister-in-law gets shot.
Which I think is different than how's she doing? What's going on? Is she going to be at the launch?
Yeah, but you know, now none of these questions can be answered. So
Right.
you know, I'm just curious to know, so she gets shot, which is a big deal. I mean, it's a really big deal. It's a tragic
huge.
event. Were they going to bring him back down? Were they working on scrambling a ship so that he could come back down and be with his family?
God forbid.
How did they communicate all of that? What were the policies and procedures that go around all of that? There is a story here that's beyond how is she doing. There is a human side to this space story of like, oh my gosh, these twin brothers are separated by...
At the same time, though, doesn't the media uphold some sort of responsibility to not have to ask those questions at a NASA event? It's a NASA press conference. Maybe if they want those questions answered, they should say, hey, Barbara Walters or whoever, somebody, and make an appointment and make, you know, have your own special away and aside from
but IRL,
all of this.
IRL doesn't work that way because they're just going to turn everyone down and or they're going to get hit with, you know, a million different requests, and so they're just going to keep telling everyone, you know, no, right? So
Not necessarily. I mean, I think if you approach it in a respectful enough manner, you know, they did do. You don't know, you're not them.
You're right.
There is the possibility, though. It's kind of trashy to come up to somebody at a supposedly NASA. You know, it's on NASA's ground. It's not like they went to their local ABC affiliate and they're like, well, we only want to talk about NASA stuff.
But it does kind of impact the flight. So this was the debate, right? You know, should they
and
have
it
done
can clearly go on for longer.
Yeah, and you know, I'll be frank, most of the chat room is siding with Carrie Ann. And, you know, maybe she's right, but I just think that there is a human story here, and there's a compelling human story here.
There is.
And it doesn't need to be something that's evil, you know, just malicious. Malicious isn't the right word. It doesn't have to be something that's just dogging down on them and pushing it.
Right.
They could tell the story in a compelling way that puts the U.S. space program kind of front and center for a little while, which might be a good thing in this time of change.
Yeah,
as the space shuttle program is winding down. You know, I ran a test earlier today. I was with a friend who's not a huge space geek, and he's like, you know what? I bet most people don't even know that we have more than one space shuttle. And so we ran a test. We actually asked people. The question was, try this, by the way. This is a fun game. Go out and ask people, what's your favorite space shuttle? And A, they probably won't have an answer for you. B, they will probably have no idea that there's more than one space shuttle. I was floored at how many people had no clue.
But there has to be more than one space shuttle. We've lost a couple.
Yeah, but they assume that there's only one at a time.
And so we just whipped one up?
Yeah, that's the yes. This is why, as space geeks, you should go out there and try this. And that's why I think that any time we can get front and center with a compelling human news story, that's not, oh my gosh, the shuttle exploded.
At the same time, though, it's not like they're going to be saying, hey, Scott, Mark, you know, hey, sorry about Gabrielle, but can you tell us about the other shuttles in the line?
No, it's not like that at all. Again, it's a back door, right?
Yeah, it is.
And you have to, we as space evangelists then have to go in and pull people in further.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, hey, I heard about that. And you can say, yeah, did you know that this is the last launch of Endeavour ever? And that starts a conversation.
That has been something I've run into.
That's all you need to do is get that conversation started. And I think you'll find, once you start the conversation, it goes from there, right? It's not that people don't care. People kind of care, they're kind of interested, but it doesn't impact their daily life.
Right.
But this is neat stuff. They want to hear about this stuff. They just don't know where to get it. Spacevidcast.com. So, all right, anyhow.
Just saying.
Yeah, so that's the thing. All right. The next story. You wanna intro this one?
So I don't even remember where I saw this exactly, and the headline for it was kind of silly, and so I was sort of reluctant to even click on it because it was something really stupid like, you know, Kennedy Space Center, people make a space shuttle, and I was like, really?
That's
brilliant.
Silly. That's great.
But I saw that there was a video, so I was like, well, are they going to time lapse the making?
Don't even. Let's just show them the video. Here you guys go. Check this out. The music's so dramatic.
It really is. I was kind of impressed because it's not like there's markings on...
I was thinking the same thing. It is kind of funny, and they're mentioning this in the chat room. Look at how great the space shuttle looks, and when they start making the circle, look at how terrible the circle looks.
You think a circle will be really
The circle will be way easier than the space shuttle.
Everybody hold hands!
Look at
now spread out!
Look at how great that shuttle looks.
Yeah, no, without... I mean, again, there might be subtle markings that we can't see from wherever this camera angle is.
Watch this.
But yeah, the circle is pretty bad. It's
Blah.
there's a lot of straight lines in that particular circle. A lot of straight lines. The circle probably wasn't marked off. Yeah, no, Adam's saying that the space shuttle was probably marked off to a certain extent.
Here's my favorite part.
Ready?
Wait, here
and...
No,
Boosh.
I love that part. Isn't that cool?
So cool. I like that.
So anyhow, yeah, there's the space, and you guys have probably seen that image floating around the web. But there's the video, the making up. NASA. There's the. How neat was that?
That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I think it was going up your nose.
That's weird. So yeah, it was just a fun little video that we thought was pretty neat.
I thought that was cute.
Speaking of fun little videos that are pretty neat. Oh wait, no, not the video yet. Armadillo Aerospace. Oh hey, chat room, I need your help because I think this is the vehicle.
Wow.
Armadillo Aerospace is working on the STIG vehicle, S-T-I-G, as in if you watch Top Gear, like
I was just
the
gonna
STIG.
say like Top Gear.
Yeah, like the STIG.
Okay.
So
Kind of looks like it, I suppose.
I hope that friend I was mentioning earlier is watching the show because he's a huge Top Gear fan. So they're making the STIG. Now I believe the STIG is the vehicle that's going to go over 100,000 feet, which will be their first vehicle doing that.
Right.
Also known as the tube rocket, as they're mentioning in the chat room. Now. Carmack tweeted out, and here's a tweet that he sent out fairly recently saying that they're on track to go to 100,000 feet. There's a tweet graphic if you want, Calf. I promise.
Looking good for
Here
over
it comes.
100,000
There you go. Looking good
there
for
you go.
greater than 100,000 feet at Spaceport America in the first week of April, which is coming up really quickly here. So I believe they're using the STIG to make that go. And so here we have a test firing of the STIG's rocket in low power mode. We edited this down. This is like 2.5 minutes long, so you'll see it flashed away. It's just like the beginning and the end of the actual attempt itself. So here you go. Here's a test flight, the low power engine test of Armadillo's STIG. I always love the way their engines end. They're always like, boom, ka-cha, ka-cha, ka-cha. So there you go. There was the, now, Ben Brockert of Armadillo Aerospace did tweet out saying that he was going to post more launch videos of the STIG, but we haven't actually seen that. That was like 2 weeks ago that he tweeted that, and we haven't actually seen anything yet. So as soon as we get our hands on those, we'll show those to you. But there you go. There's that, and I believe that is the vehicle. Yeah, Zigger says 100,000 feet, didn't even get off the pad. That was obviously a tie-down test. So yeah, pretty cool. So Armadillo is working on that rocket. And now at the same time, there's a lot of other rocket work going on. Yeah. Rocketdyne is working on their launch abort rocket for the STS-100, which is the capsule that Boeing is working on. So here is the rocket test for the STS-100.
The abort test. The abort test.
System. This is the abort motor. So here you go. Check this one out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
I laugh, and because I purposely put the Dillo and the abort test next to each other.
The one bell is like this big, and the other bell's like this big.
Yeah,
like there's no comparison.
You're not you just watched the STIG kind of do its little, and you're like, wow, that's really cool. It'll go up to 1,000 feet, and this rocket's like,
oh my God.
Oh yeah, that was just awesome. It made me laugh. All right.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah, so that video is if the vehicle that the STS-100 is sitting on has a malfunctioning, if it's malfunctioning, right?
Right.
They need to get the crew away from the vehicle as fast as possible. So they need to
Yes.
very quickly and powerfully, eject, take the STS-100 and push it away as fast as they can. And so that's the launch abort
I
rocket.
think that'll do it.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope it will. Before we go into break, I did want to talk about Yuri's night really quickly. Do you want to talk about the contest before I talk about the video?
Yeah, we can talk about the contest first. That works for me. Although, apparently, I lost the link, so
right.
I can't.
So I'll talk about the First Orbit film. It's a free film that you'll be able to get for Yuri's night, and you can get that, I believe it's firstorbit.com.org, something like that. You hit the firstorbit.org right there.
There you go.
And this is it looks to be a pretty awesome film celebrating the 50-year anniversary of the first human spaceflight in space with Yuri Gagarin, April 12th. What would it be, 1961?
Yes.
Wow, that was bad for a space nerd.
I can do math.
Whoa, I did. I had to do the math, and I'm like, nope, I should have just known that. What happened there?
Yeah, you should have.
So here is a quick trailer for First Orbit.
Мотор снизу землю. Хорошо разлетела земля. Вижу реки, складки местности. Отлично все во взор видно. Что-то по заре, связи нет. Чувство невесомости интересно, все плавает, вся красота.
So I full well expect that to be pretty awesome. April 12th, 2011, which is again right around the corner. It happens to be Yuri's night party as well. So why don't we talk about the parties when we come back from break? We're going to go to break, and in break we're going to talk about one of the contests, so I think it all actually kind of ties together. So hey everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Happy Yuri's Night, 2011. You know, Yuri Gagarin circled the Earth above the atmosphere, had to jump out of his capsule on the way down in 1961. So it was 50 years ago.
On that, April 12th, that day, humanity changed. We became a species that was no longer confined to the Earth.
What people used to dream about came true. The reality is, in those 50 years, human beings have fulfilled a ambition that's existed in the human spirit for thousands of years before.
Space exploration brings out the best in us, brings out the best in humans.
I think that orbital perspective that you get when you look down at this planet hanging in the blackness of space is something that can't help but to affect you in some way.
I think that the concept of planet Earth is coming from human spaceflight. Our future is global.
I think back about that Christmas Eve where for the first time we saw an Earthrise on the lunar horizon. I think the way we looked at our planet, the way we looked at ourselves, changed forever. We're all in this together. We're all riding through this spaceship through the universe that we call planet Earth, and it's something that we need to take care of, and we need to take care of each other. We really put a focus on who we are as a species, who we are as inhabitants of planet Earth.
50 years ago, they knew not only the dream, but how hard it was going to be to accomplish the dream. Yuri Gagarin went to space not being positive that he would be able to return alive. Most of the people who followed him in the early days had the same understanding, that there was no guarantee.
Just think what the next 50 years are going to be. It's going to be, if I may, unrecognizable in a cool way.
Well, I think that the transition that will mark the next 50 years is that we will go from placing representatives of our species in orbit to placing human society in orbit. This is going to be the challenge for the next 50 years, not just the technology of moving people and their machines to great distances, but finding out how human beings will interrelate with each other in an environment where they are definitely dependent on each other and in a set of circumstances totally different from the ones in which we evolved as a species.
I hope that that includes, establishing outposts in different parts of the solar system, maybe starting with the moon. We have asteroids, Mars, and someday, going beyond our solar system with human exploration.
We need the dream, we need to work hard, we need to plan, and we need the dare.
If the opportunity comes up, I'm going.
But there's so much more than just the Yuri's contest, the one video contest that you just saw there.
Yeah, so it's actually 2 contests and, how's it worded? It's 2 contests and 1 free sweepstakes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my, oh yeah, no, yeah, betcha
Oh,
there.
you don't say.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. So there is the Call to Humanity. It's a space ad contest where the grand prize is a zero-G flight in Russia.
Or a Jersey flight. There could be a Jersey flight as well.
Anyway, zero-G flight in Russia plus $1,000 towards travel voucher, which is around a $9,000 value. And that's looking for a powerful and inspiring print ad that would move people to think about space and support humanity's future among the stars.
We have an example. Hey, Kath, at the end of your timeline, we've got our Spacevidcast ad. You want to pop that up really quick? Ooh. Yeah. Here's an example. Something that's inspiring.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean?
Bam.
Know what I mean?
There you go.
There you go. Gorgeous.
Yep. All right. So anyhow, yep, next contest.
So then the next one is a Russian space tour sweepstakes where the grand prize is a VIP liftoff in Baikonur ticket plus another $1,000 towards a travel voucher, which is again about a $9,000 value. You want to register what?
I was going to say, so that's where you get to watch a Soyuz launch or a liftoff of a crash. So, assuming that one happens at that particular time.
Yes.
So a Soyuz liftoff. Now, here's the thing with Soyuz liftoffs. The press site at Kennedy Space Center is 3 miles away.
Yep.
The Soyuz liftoff, you can basically just walk right up to the thing. I may be exaggerating slightly, but you can get way closer to the vehicle than NASA would ever allow you to get. So if you really, really want to experience a rocket launch, that's how you do it.
Yeah. It's a space tour sweepstakes, a chance to win a tour of the past and present of the Russian space program and watch a Soyuz liftoff from the steppes of Kazakhstan from Baikonur.
Awesome.
That's very cool. And then the last one is the Open Luna video contest, which the grand prize is $500. The Open Luna video contest, it's an open source competition to engage the public to create a tribute video for the 50th anniversary of human spaceflight and to share Yuri's Nights events around the world.
And $500.
$500. And all of those deadlines are March 31st.
Now, $500 buys you enough booze to go to a bar and buy everyone a drink on Yuri Gagarin.
There you go.
And what a great way to start. Once again, it's all about starting conversations. What a great way to start a conversation about spaceflight than to buy everyone in the bar a drink and they're going to say, well, actually, they're probably not going to say why. They're just going to drink their booze. But you can tell them why anyhow and start that conversation because people do care. And they are interested in this stuff.
Yes. Chris Radcliffe says that he's entered the sweepstakes because it's so easy.
It is so easy.
Or is it so essay?
That's for you After Dark viewers out there. All right. So this particular story was written by a Spacevidcaster, and it's called Senators Crippling Rockets. And this is something that it's actually a really good article, and everyone should just hit the URL at the bottom of the screen. But basically, it talks about basically the idea is the reason NASA is having such a hard time building these rockets isn't because NASA's bad at building rockets. It's because of the limitations imposed on them by Congress, or excuse me, by Senate. Well, Congress, but by senators saying, well, you have to use solid fuel, you have to use legacy technology, you have to do all of these things. And the purpose of doing all of those things is purely to save jobs. It's not to help the space industry, it's not to build a better rocket, it's nothing more than saving jobs so that voters in their area will continue to vote for them. And that is the problem we're running into right now. That's why we end up with these programs that are bloated and can't be done. And NASA's coming back, they basically, the senators have said, you need to build this rocket, and NASA's come back saying, under our budget, we can't do that. What you have asked us to do will fail, we guarantee it. And they're saying, well, no, it's not, you're not even trying. And I gotta go with NASA on this one. Let the rocket scientists design the rockets, stay out. If solid fuel is the right way to go, NASA will pick solid fuel.
Right.
If it's not the right way to go, they're not going to pick solid fuel. You shouldn't force NASA to use a particular technology because it saves jobs. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of friends.
Backwards way of doing it.
We have a lot of friends who work at NASA. We have a lot of friends who work at a lot of these facilities that are contractors for NASA. And I don't want them to lose their job, but at the same time, their job shouldn't come at the expense of billion-dollar programs that get shut down because they're unsustainable.
Right.
That doesn't help anybody. Because now the program's unsustainable and everyone's going to end up losing their job anyhow. You're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah.
So it's a great article. I really highly suggest reading this particular article and commenting. You don't have to agree with my opinion or that opinion. And if you do or don't, certainly leave your comments and your constructive criticism in the comments on YouTube or on Spacevidcast or on the article. Always make sure it's constructive because everyone has different opinions. But yeah, that's my view of the thing, and it is my opinion that, frankly, if we want NASA to do something, give them a budget, let them go do their thing. Don't, tell them, all right, you're going to the moon. In the Apollo era, we didn't say, you're going to the moon, and by the way, you have to use solid fuel. No, they said, go to the moon, do it in a decade. And NASA said, okay, we'll do it. Right, so.
Pretty much.
We don't know how.
Wait, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. So, much the same thing, go to the, NASA? Go to the moon and figure out how to stay there for months at a time, like the International Space Station. Go to Mars, put humans on Mars, figure out how to do it. We're not going to tell you what technology you use. This is the budget you have to work in, this is the time frame you have to work in, make it happen. And, that's a very reasonable request, I think. This whole, by the way, you have to use all this technology that saves the jobs of a bunch of people in my district. That's insane. So, there's that.
Wow. Little soapbox moment.
I did. I'm soapboxy this episode, but you guys like my soapbox.
Yes, they do.
All right, let's end the show on a really cool little video.
Okay.
And I'm going to play this video twice because the first time you watch the video, you're going to see the airplane and you're going to go, "That's amazing!" And then you're going to realize it was the airplane, and that's not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So this is a shot of Nanosail-D, which is NASA's first solar sail, floating by, and you can actually, they highlight it in the graphics here. Check this out. Yep. So, pretty cool. Now, that big, huge thing you saw going across the screen, that was an airplane.
That's not what you're looking for.
If you look, actually, Kath, can you go back to the video and kind of scrub through it and kind of pause it, like partway through? Would that be possible, or does CamTwist not really let you do that? Here we go. We're gonna try.
Yay.
We don't know how well this will work.
Let's break something.
Yeah. We may crash. All right, so scrub forward. So there's Vega.
Cool.
All right, there. So you can see there's a little crosshair kind of in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You've got the circle at the bottom that's actually zoomed into that particular.
Yep.
That is the Nanosail right there.
Cool.
I thought that was pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I thought that was a really nice little release from, yeah. So one more playthrough, just straight up. Here you go. Now, wouldn't it be cool if it was that airplane-looking thing?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So yeah, that's our show for this week. Join us. Oh, what have we got coming up soon? We've got a STS-134 coming up.
Yep.
We've got Yuri's Night coming up. So we've got a lot of great stuff coming up in early April.
Yep.
So make sure to watch for that stuff. We're going to be down at Kennedy Space Center doing the STS-134 launch.
Yep.
and it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be, it's what we normally like to do. We'll have high definition video going back and forth. As always, we're trying to improve our coverage. So if you go to my blog at bencredible.com, you can see some of the equipment we're trying to install to fix our return video that looked terrible for 133. But we've got, for STS-134, we had great guests on. We had like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yes.
He was on for a little while answering questions.
Bob Jacobs was on.
Bob Jacobs. Oh, he was a hoot and a half. And the great part about this is we have the live chat room open and we have a live Skype feed open, so you can call in and ask your own questions of the rocket engineers, the NASA PAO, the astronauts that we have,
Lockheed Martins,
the Lockheed Martin guys. I mean, if you have questions, we'll bring you out on air. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool launch coverage. Oh, and it happens to be in high definition. And if you've got a Roku box, you can download the free Spacevidcast Roku channel, and you can play that right on your HD TV. So make it like a little Super Bowl party.
There you go.
Get all your friends together, send them all down for the final launch of Space Shuttle Endeavour, and sit down, watch the last time that the Space Shuttle lifts off, and hopefully this time we'll have the graphics on the bottom of the screen powered by mission clock. That T-minus 5 minute hold, that really threw us for a loop.
We should just enter one in just in case.
Enter a T-minus 5 hold. You just see kind of hold and then keep going.
Yeah.
So we have a really cool vehicle ascent statistics, so you can see what the vehicle is doing. The space shuttle.
It's amazing.
It really is. And if you'd like to see what it's going to kind of look like live, you can go to your YouTube channel, watch the STS-133 launch video. We put the graphics back into it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It always is a great deal of fun. Certainly join the chat room as well. Download that free Roku channel. If you don't have a Roku box, they're like $60. And the channel is free. And by the way, you can do other things too. You can do like Netflix, you can do Revision 3, you can do This Week in Tech. You can get a lot of really great channels on that Roku box. If you don't have a Roku, maybe you've got a Boxy box. We have a Boxy channel as well. I know. Maybe you've got an iPad. Our videos play on an iPad. Got an iPhone or an Android phone? They play on those as well. So absolutely, whatever device you're around, get some people around you. Watch the final launch of Space Shuttle Endeavour. Watch the final launch of Space Shuttle Endeavour and start that conversation. Get people talking about space again. Once they start talking, it's hard to shut up. And I'm a perfect example of that. On that note, for those of you watching us live, or if you're a Spacevidcast Epic subscriber, stay with us. Spacevidcast After Dark is up next. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week.